Hey guys, now we're going to start the first lesson. And the first lesson is going to be about command line navigation. A lot of people don't know how to do things. What they end up doing, so I'm just typing garbage right now on the line. And because I see a lot of people with a command, with stuff on the command line, and I say, okay, go to the beginning of the line, and they do this. And I die a little on the inside. And then I die even more. So first of all, the commands I'm going to give are for Linux machines because on Linux, it's control and letters, and on Mac, it's command or open apple and letters. So on Linux, if you want to go to the beginning of a line, you hit Control A, and for Mac, it's Command A. There you go. If I want to go to the end of the line, it's E, Control E. Or Open Apple E on a Mac. And if I want to go back and forth, I just do that. Hooray, I can jump back and forth. Great, that will save you an enormous amount of time right off the bat. So obviously everyone knows about backspace. I'm just backspacing here. But what you can also do is delete. So I'm going to go to the beginning of the line. On Mac, the delete key is, you know that it's like function delete. The fact is on a Linux command line, if you want to delete, you can just hit Control D and it deletes things. Giant warning. If you do this, it's great. Hey, I'm deleting the whole line. The problem is that if you hit Control D, I'm going to be very careful here. If you hit Control D, here it's good, and here it's good, but now there's nothing on the command line. If I hit Control D at this point, I'm literally going to log out of the terminal, because that's how Linux is wired. So don't do that. Don't ever do that. Don't hit Control D like that. Now I'm going to teach what I just did. I'm going to teach how to get rid of things really, really quickly. So I am typing some stuff here. Great. What if I wanted to only keep the words I am typing? Well, that's pretty simple. What I would do is I'd go to I am typing here, and I would hit Control K, and it deletes everything from the cursor and beyond. That is super, super useful for getting rid of everything in a line or most things in a line. If I want to bring it back, it's just like copy-paste on any other machine. You use Control Y. I don't know why it's Y, but Control Y brings it back. And because it's in a buffer, if I hit that multiple times, there we are. Now, you can say you're an idiot. I don't want all of that stuff. Well, that's fine. I go to the beginning of the line, and then I go out to some stuff here, and then I delete everything from the end of the line. Boom. It's all gone. You can do the same thing in reverse. If I want to just delete everything, if I want to keep some stuff here, but I want to delete everything before it, instead of hitting Control K, I hit Control U, and I delete everything from the cursor at the beginning of the line. And then I can bring it back with Control Y exactly the same. Same exact thing as before. So there we go. So now you know really quickly. So if I have a giant line that's full of garbage and I'm like, get rid of that giant line full of garbage, you just go Control A, Control K, and it's gone. There you go. I'm going to put the tab completion in the next lesson because it's a lot easier to put it in the next lesson. Hey guys, now we're going to learn about directory navigation. So directory navigation and tab completion is really, really simple. So let's see, first of all, what directory am I in? PWD is my current directory. I don't know why it's PWD, process working directory, I guess, I don't know. That's your current working directory. If you want to change directories, like if I want to, so I hit ls here, and I see I have directories SGMs and TXTs. If I want to, by the way, ls lists everything in a directory. So that's super useful. We'll learn about that next. If I want to change directory into SGMs or TXTs, I just go cd for change directory, SGMs. Bang, right there, and I'm there. And I can see that I'm in that directory. Oh, but I don't want to be in that directory. I want to be up one directory. I want to go back. Okay, well, if I want to move up one directory, I go cd ... and that brings me up one directory. So now I'm in Reuters, and now I cd ... and now I'm in Downloads, and I cd ... and now I'm in my home directory. So let's go back into Downloads, Reuters, and SGMs. Good. Great. So I'm in that directory. What if I just want to change to my home directory? How do I do that? That's easy. CD. That's it. Now I'm in my home directory. Cool. Except now, what if I want to go back to the directory I was just in? What if I put in some commands on the command line and I don't remember where I was, but I want to go back to the directory I'd been in before this one? That's really easy. I just go cd tab. I shouldn't say tab, hyphen or dash, cd dash. Boom. And now I'm back in the directory I was in. It works in both ways. So now the directory I used to be in was my home directory. So if I do that, boom, I go back to my home directory. So that's really simple. You can just go back and forth between two working directories just by hitting cd tab. It's really, really useful. You can also go to your home directory in a few other ways. You can go cd dash dash. That goes to your home directory. Or you can go, oh, I'm sorry, whoops, cd, there, good. Or you can go cd twiddle or tilde, and that goes to your home directory as well. Cool. I'm going to teach you tab completion because tab completion is one of the most important things you can learn, and it's super, super useful. So here I am I'm going to go up one directory. By the way, you can hit a slash. So this means up one directory. The slash is not strictly necessary, but let's ls. Let's cd into texts. Okay, good. So let's ls. Good. All exchange. You see all these things, right? So what if I tell you I want to ls cat description 120396? So you could go last cat descript. That's just takes a long time. You can go lsc, because it's the only file that starts with C, tab, and it will autocomplete. Tab is your friend. Tab will make you so much faster because you can immediately autocomplete anything. So let's say I want to ls all people strings. So I ls all and I hit tab. Oh, it stopped there. Why did it stop? It stopped because there's many files that start with all. So if I hit tab twice, I get to see all the files that start with all, and then I get, oh, I want to go into the people one. So I hit P and hit tab. Nope, because there's another one that starts with P as well. So I hit tab twice, and there we go. People and places. Great. So I hit the E for people, and I hit tab, and I'm there. So you might say, yeah, I don't need to do that. I mean, look, if you type like this, amazing. Don't use tab because you should have been a concert pianist and you're amazing. But if you don't type like that, and you type at the speed I type, and you ls all people string.lc.text, then great, but it would have been so much faster to do that with a tab. Also, super important point. It's all people strings with an S there, not string, but I misspelled it. So if I hit enter on this, oops, I missed, and I have to retype it. But if I do ls all people strings, tab doesn't misspell anything. So tab is amazing. So there's tab completion and directory navigation. Next lesson, we're going to go into how to search through directories. Hey guys, now we're going to talk about how to search through directories. So this is really, really easy, super easy, and we're just going to go to, we're going to go up one directory. Right now we're in the texts directory, so we're going to cd ... So I've already shown you ls, which is list everything in this directory, and you can see it all right there. A really important note for ls is that ls has a bunch of flags that you should almost always use. So ls-l gives you the long form information about what all this stuff is. It gives you all the read-write information. It gives you your name, the owner's name, the group the file is in, the size of the file, the date the file was changed, and then the name of the file. It's super, super useful. I really, really love that. It's an incredible command. It's really, really amazing. But there's other things. So let's ls into the home directory. I'm just going to go to the home directory for a second and hit ls-l, and you see all this stuff there. Okay? Cool. So there's a whole bunch of hidden files, though. There's dot files in this directory that you're not seeing. If you ls-la, you will see all the hidden files, which include like my trash, my bash history, and bash profile. On Macs, you get this ds store file. I don't even know what this thing is. But that's what we get. Cool. However, I really care about the file I touched last. That's what I care about more than anything. That's what I've always cared about. And this order is stupid. This is some alphabetical order, which is great, but I don't care about alphabetical order. I care about time order. ls-la TR for time order reverse gives me all of the files and directories in the order in which I modified things. Now, it's not perfect because, as you can see, it put documents before downloads, and the last thing I modified was in downloads. But basically, it gives you, for directories, it does something slightly different. But it gives you all of that information in reverse order so you can see what you've changed. So, for instance, if I go back into the directory I was in, Reuters, if I do ls/latr, boom, I can see that I changed SGMs and text. And if I ls and cd into texts, and ls and ls-l. Okay, so these are all really, really old files. I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna let's cd into SGMs first of all. SGMs. By the way, you can go up one directory and then down into SGMs. ls-l, and they're all 1996. Okay, not the best thing in the world to show you ls-ltr, but it's super, super useful. So like if I do ls-ltr, it puts those files in this order. Notice that the 2 is before the 1 and the 4 is before the 3 because I have a feeling that whoever made this directory structure modified these files. So they probably modified the 1 file after they'd written the 2 file. So you can see the order that the files were written in, even all the way back to December 4th, 1996, which is really useful. There's one other command for ls that's really, really nice, and I'm going to go into the text directory to show you this. Actually, I'm going to go up one. I'm in the Reuters directory. I'm going to go ls-l, boom. Let's pretend I'm in a directory with a lot of big files, and I want to see the really big ones, but there's also a whole bunch of small files. Like I'm in a big directory, and I want to see all the files and all their sizes. I can do ls-l SR, and it will put the files in order, and directories as well, in order of size. Now, it won't tell you the directory size, so it doesn't give you that. But it will put all this stuff together in terms of size. That's fantastic because I can actually see the big stuff. So if I go and cd into texts, and I do the same thing, boom. Now I can see the big, this is the big text file, and I can see which ones are small, too. And if I want to see the small ones instead of the big ones, I get rid of the R. Boom. And now I can see the small ones instead of the big ones. And that's super, super useful, obviously, for a variety of reasons. Now we're going to talk about find. Find is super, super useful as well. I'm going to go and I'm going to up 2 directories. Good. So let's say I want to see everything in the Reuters directory. I'm going to go find Reuters. Notice that it just gave me everything in this directory, including the directory and all the subdirectories. The reason for the double slash is because I put a slash after the Reuters. If I just put Reuters like that, there, it gives me the directory and all of the subdirectories and all of the files in all of them. What if I only want to see the files? If I only want to see the files, I go -type F for file, and it will only show me all the files. So here's all the files within the Reuters subdirectory, including the targ zip file and all of the text files and all the SGMs. What if I want to do the same thing and only see the directories? I hit the same command. You can hit up, by the way, to scroll through your commands. So you can hit up and down to scroll through your prior commands. That's super useful as well. I do type D for directory. Boom. And there's the subdirectories. That's the directory structure of Reuters. This might not be really, really useful in this Reuters directory, but if as soon as you work in a large repository, or if you're in a huge thing where you have to figure out where, like if you're on a Mac looking through your library and you want to figure out where everything is, this becomes really, really invaluable. The other thing that's really useful is that this Reuters thing lets you, the find command lets you find files before or after a certain time. So I'm going to do this. I'm here, I'm going to go ls-ltr and cd into Reuters. And you see how the lewis.dtd, you see how this Reuters tar.gzip file was written, April 13th, but the Lewis file was written way, way back when. So what if I want to find, and right now, by the way, the date, you can type date to show you the date, is this, okay? What if I only want to see the files that have been changed or modified in the previous day? Let's simply go find Dot is the current directory, by the way. You don't usually need to use it, but sometimes if you like, I could go up one directory and then go find Reuters, or I could just be in the Reuters directory and go find dot for that. It gives me the same thing. But what if I go -c time for creation time -2? Okay, it gives me a bunch of files, but notice that it didn't give me... Okay, it gave me everything, actually. That's great. +2, and it gave me nothing. Okay, so I'm going to go to modify time. Did that give me anything? That's it. Okay, M time. So find is weird. It's C time and M time. C is supposed to be creation and M is modify, but Linux is very weird and treats these words in a strange way. So +2 means give me everything that was modified more than 2 days ago. If I do -2, it's within 2 days, and you can see that the only things I've created are this text, the tar.gzip file, and these two directories. Right? So that's really, really useful. You can immediately tell what you've modified. You also can do the same thing. Instead of time, you can do min for minutes. It's not going to give me anything because I haven't modified anything. But if I'm gonna teach you this later. But if I echo that into, oops, sorry, I'm an idiot. If I echo that into a file, and I do this, it'll show me that file, and it'll show me the current directory because I have modified the current directory by putting a file in it, and here's that file. Whereas if I say +2, it will give me everything except for that directory and that file. So there we go. Find is a super, super useful command for traversing directories and seeing everything in them and seeing when you changed stuff last. A lot of people don't know how to do that, and it's really, really necessary because all of us, I know I had a file here, but it was the file, I know it's the file, I changed it 5 days ago. Okay, well then look at all the files you've changed in the past 5 days. I don't know how to do that. Well, that's really simple. It's just find -m time -5, oops, -5, and there you go. Those are the files you've changed in the past 5 days. There you go. Cool, thanks. The next lesson is going to be looking at files with a less command.